Children, every day we get to hear so much about our government and its functioning from various newspapers and TV channels. But you kids must be wondering what this government is. So let's learn about our government in detail.
Where have Mummy and Papa gone?
They have gone to the polling booth to cast their vote.
To cast their vote? But why?
To elect a candidate, and he will be our representative in the government.
Why should we elect a candidate?
Because ours is a democratic government.
What do you mean by that?
I'll explain. We became independent from the British rule on 15th August 1947. The government of our country passed on into the hands of our people. We are free to rule ourselves in the interests of our people and their welfare. Our Constituent Assembly prepared a constitution for us. Our constitution, the backbone of our country and the document that defines and governs all aspects of our lives as the citizens of India, came into force on 26 January 1950. The Constitution of India is a document that establishes the political values, the powers of government, and the rights of the citizen of the country. It is the supreme law of India and is used by the Prime Minister, his cabinet of ministers, and the courts to govern the country. According to it, our country is a sovereign, socialist, secular, and democratic republic. Our constitution lays down certain goals before us. They are laid down in the preamble of our constitution.
A preamble describes the philosophy of the Constitution. It states the ideals, goals, and objectives of the Constitution. A preamble is a preface to the Constitution. Let us read the preamble to know those goals.
The preamble lays down democracy, socialism, and secularism to be our main goals. Let us discuss them briefly. 1. Democracy. The word democracy literally means rule by the people. It is derived from a Greek word coined from the words demos or people and kratos or rule. The preamble makes it clear that the source of power is the people. It is called democracy. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It is a form of government in which the people rule themselves. People elect their representatives who in turn rule the people. Thus, ours is a democracy. Our constitution declares our country as a socialist state. It guarantees equal opportunities to all. No one is discriminated on the grounds of religion, caste, or gender. All are treated equally. The government tries to reduce economic inequalities among people and promote their economic development. This is what socialism means. Secularism means a state having no religion of its own. India is a secular state. Our government has no religion of its own. Our constitution has provided freedom of religion to us. Our people are free to follow any religion of their choice. People of all religions are treated equally. Besides the above goals, our constitution promises to provide us the following also: justice, social, economic, and political; liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship; equality of status and opportunity, and to promote them among all; and fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation.
Life of every human being is precious. So certain rights are essential to enjoy liberty and lead a better life, like the right not to be bought or sold as slaves, to be treated equally as the next person, or to speak their mind without fear of being jailed. If citizens do not have these basic or fundamental rights, then they may as well be slaves. After independence, India laid down some fundamental rights that every citizen of India is guaranteed by the law and are necessary for the success of democracy. They are 6 in number. Some of the important rights are:
1. Right to equality. According to the right to equality, all are equal before law. Both the rich and the poor are to be treated equally. All the people are to have equal opportunities. There should be no discrimination on the grounds of sex, color and creed. 2. Right to freedom. According to the right to freedom, we are free to express our views without any fear. This freedom of expression is essential for the successful functioning of democracy. We are also free to live and travel anywhere in the country and to choose any profession of our choice. Right to freedom of religion. According to the right to freedom of religion, the people of our country are free to follow the religion of their choice. Nobody will be discriminated on the grounds of religion. 4. Right to vote. Our people have the right to vote. All those who are 18 years of age and above have the right to vote in elections. This is a most important right in a democracy. It is with this right that we elect our representatives to the Parliament and state legislative assemblies and other elected bodies. These fundamental rights are definite. Nobody can deprive us of these rights. Even the government cannot ignore these rights. If they are violated, we can move the courts for their enforcement. However, the government can impose restrictions on these rights on certain occasions. There can be no rights without duties. They are related to each other. They are the two sides of the same coin. For example, a person having the freedom to walk on the road has also the duty to see that he does not become an obstacle to others. Our constitution lays down certain duties to be followed by the citizens. They are called fundamental duties. They are 10 in number. Some of them are: 1. We should respect the Constitution, the national flag and the national anthem. 2. We should cherish the noble ideals of our freedom struggle. 3. We should defend our country and render national service whenever necessary. 4. We should uphold and protect the sovereignty, the unity and the integrity of our country. 5. We should promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people. 6. We should preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. 7. We should protect our environment. 8. We should safeguard the public property. Besides laying down the fundamental rights and fundamental duties, our constitution lays down certain guidelines to be followed by our governments. They are known as directive principles of state policy. 1. Steps should be taken to improve the standard of living of our people. 2. Cottage industries should be encouraged. 3. Free and compulsory education to children below 14 years of age should be provided. 4. Weaker sections should be provided for their educational and economic development. 5. A uniform civil code for all the citizens should be introduced. 6. Consumption of liquor should be prohibited. 7. Village panchayats should be organized. 8. Steps should be taken to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forests and wildlife. 9. Equal pay for equal work to both men and women should be ensured. 10. Children should be protected from exploitation. The directive principles are not justifiable. The courts cannot protect them. At the same time, the government cannot afford to ignore them because ours is a welfare state. So, my dear, we have come to an end on our discussion on we and our government by focusing on our goals, rights and duties towards us and our nation. Hope now you are clear with the concept.
Sure, Uncle. It was very useful. I will always remember these basic things.
Children, we have thus come to an end of our discussion. Hope it was informative and interesting to you. Till we meet again, bye-bye.